But hey, enough of my yakking. What do you say? Let's boogie.
You're listening to The Mean Geek, comics podcasting on the very ragged, raw, leading edge of friggin' civility.
You have a pet cricket named Eugene?
Why not?
Alright, fine. Welcome, everyone, to episode 18 of The Mean Geek. It's random night here because Rev didn't do his homework. Woo!
Fight the power.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Alright, fuck you.
What's the rest of the lyrics? I don't even know what the fuck they are.
Something about anger.
Yes, angry white guys who, hang around frats and have nothing to be angry about. Pretty much our mortal enemies. So, my mortal enemy. I don't know about you, but... What are we drinking here tonight, Ren?
That would be a Smithwick, which is half Smith and half Wick.
Known in New England, at any rate, as Smittix, because they don't know how to pronounce things here.
And it is made by Guinness, and I have 6 of them, and then I have an Otter Creek Summer Ale as well.
Ooh. We're going to fight over that one.
Fancy.
Well, yeah, so we're going to skip the pile this week, and we'll jump off and see what shows up. Maybe we'll do a little riff on Star Wars, which we have playing on the TV right now.
As well as you had a personal Star Wars experience this weekend.
I did, in fact. I saw, and I can't remember the guy's name. It's very strange. I normally absorb these things like a fucking sponge. But I saw the one-man Star Wars trilogy show, which was phenomenally fucking funny. He did an awesome job of Han being like the 70s suave, debonair motherfucker, and he did an awesome Luke being a whiny bitch. You can go waste time with your friends when your chores are done. Well, I wanted to.
Lovely.
Yes, it was awesome. I laughed my ass off.
Did Han shoot first when he was the only person on stage?
He did, in fact.
Intriguing.
Yeah, apparently the guy's done this 1,200 times in 230 cities.
That's
across
insane.
Europe, throughout Asia. Although I gotta wonder, I know there's gotta be Asian Star Wars fans, right? Not like Asian American, but Asian Star Wars fans.
I would assume. I mean, they like Robotech,
Yeah,
not all of them, man.
A lot of them, though. English is a very important course in most colleges, so you got to figure most of them.
Well, more and more high schools are teaching Chinese now, which is impressive.
Well, it ought to be. They're 1/6 of the goddamn planet.
Yeah, but it's nice to see. No more French, so you can converse with those 8 Canadians that you come across in your lifetime that don't speak English. Such a useful language.
Well, one of the funnier things was how he did Jabba. He put his hands together in front of his face. Right? His forearms connected.
Right.
He opens them up and down. He goes, oh.
Dear Lord.
And he did a pretty good effete C-3PO. I did pronounce that right, didn't I?
I can only hope.
Effete.
Effete.
So anyway, quick thing. Kurtz is grand reopened. All the sales are over. They were generally a success. And we have some very interesting things in the works if we can just get our asses moving. Not going to spoil that for now, but it could be fun. John, thank you very much. You're still listening. I know it because you're on Facebook now. Mr. Wisconsin.
Go
And,
John. It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
Don't do that. We have to pay licensing fees.
Really? For that?
Yeah. Well, as Kevin Smith did.
Madness.
Because Ben Affleck decided he was just going to ad-lib the whole goddamn thing. But, yeah. I put your box together. It goes out in the mail tomorrow. So your shirt and your signed edition of Punisher War Journal #1, The Return of Ma Nucci.
2, wasn't it?
#1.
I thought it was number 2.
Is on the way. So this week, since we don't have a stack, because they're very small, and it'd be like a 30-second thing, because like, this one sucks, that one's great, this one sucks, that one's okay, that one sucks, oh, hell with it.
It's our whole show.
Yeah, but that would have been the whole thing right there. So, I was tooling around on Newsarama. Yes, there's Jawas on the screen right now, kids. And we found 10 comic book movies that some of us are looking forward to.
Oh.
And probably most of us will catch on DVD.
All right.
All right, now, what do you think of this, Rev? I know you're a big fan.
Now we're starting with number 10, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you think of the upcoming Jonah Hex movie?
That is pure fucking insanity.
I am cautiously optimistic.
That's where I was going.
I don't think they'll do the Scar well. But
Probably not.
It's a Western. It's not hard to do Westerns. You put some guy in a desert, have him shoot some other guys that are all sweaty.
And suddenly you have a Western.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to screw that concept up. And there's nothing particularly... as long as they're not doing Hex, the movie.
Yeah. Because that future shit is for the birds.
Yes. But
I remember the art for a couple of the issues I picked up when I was 14.
Keith Giffen.
Keith Giffen art in 85, though. So I was looking at it, I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at here? I don't know what's going on. I picked up issue 36, you know. I was like, it was the only one on the rack I haven't bought, so fuck it. And it was a mistake nonetheless.
Boy.
No, that one I did buy. I did buy a lot of them then. I didn't buy all of them then, but I bought most of them then. Well, listen to this quick synopsis. Josh Brolin as Hex must hunt down a voodoo priest, John Malkovich.
Oh, so they're going after the more Timothy Truman, Joe Lansdale.
Yeah, Riders of the Worm and such kind of vein.
Okay.
Who's planning on raising a Confederate army of zombies. And you know my deep and abiding love for zombies right now.
You have a sexual zombie fantasy that makes me
wait a minute.
uncomfortable.
That's not the same, man. That's not what I said.
You're like a moving necrophiliac.
All right. Next sentence in the synopsis: cowboys, zombies, and if you need any more reason than that to look forward to this movie, Megan Fox as a Western hooker.
Who?
Megan Fox.
Who?
Megan Fox. Trans fucking formers.
Never seen it.
You are out of your goddamn head. You are laughing out your ass. You are full of fucking do-back shit. That's what you are right there.
Space lizards.
Monstrous space lizards that you can ride like a fucking cow.
Dude, how badly do the other stormtroopers hate the guy who gets to ride the fucking lizard?
Yeah, they must be all kinds of pissed, man. It's like, I gotta fucking hump this rock while you're fucking hanging out on the goddamn lizard. But look at it from the other perspective. He's got to ride on a fucking lizard. He's like, you know what the fuck I'm going to smell like when I get down off this goddamn thing?
Fuck that. I'm in armor. It's the desert. I want to ride the lizard.
All right. Kenneth Branagh is going to direct Thor.
Ew.
Yeah. But Natalie Portman's going to be in it.
As?
Jane Foster.
Yeah, okay. Let's think back to the last time that Natalie Portman did genre film. And look, we're currently watching a Star Wars film that does not blow.
And it doesn't have Natalie Portman in it.
Not that she was horrific in any way, but it's not like that saved shit.
There were times in her delivery of lines that I was really just unfucking happy.
Dude, she had to pretend to be in love with a 11-year-old boy in the first one.
No, but in the last one,
Yes,
the
but
Jedi Temple.
I'm referring to the first one where she had to pretend that she was sexually attracted to Jake Lloyd, who is a pudgy 11-year-old boy with mother issues. I am not an actor, but I think that might prove difficult. It's just a theory, but come the fuck on.
Yes, well, no, but I get that. I do. But it was just, delivery was so bad at points.
Dude, think about that. You could be Kenneth fucking Branagh. You could be Sir Alec Guinness.
Yes.
You could be, if you chose, Charlie fucking Chaplin. Some of these things are not going to fly off the tongue.
Yeah, but...
Try saying mid-chlorian and sounding British and see how that works out for you.
What is his midi-chlorian count?
Yeah. Case in point.
It's not that difficult. It's just midi-chlorians. See? I can do it.
That sounds ridiculous.
It's not the best accent I've ever done, but fuck it.
My
And
whole
suddenly I'm faux Scottish as
There
well.
you go, Choose life.
Choose compact displays. Now, let's see. Oh, and they've got Chris Hemsworth, who played Kirk's father in the new Star Trek, as Thor.
Ah.
He's bulky enough, you throw a blonde wig on him, you might be able to pull it off. And a banished Thor with no recollection of who he is will slowly remember who he is. Yeah, like they needed that extra clause in the sentence. And what he's capable of. Then he'll beat the ever-loving Nordics' night soil, meaning shit, out of Loki. Also, in case you've been hiding under a rock, yeah, we already went to the Natalie Portman thing. That's 2011. So, Thor is also scheduled to show up in Jon Favreau's Avengers in 2012. So it's just year after year after year.
Yeah, they're really building that
Marvel
Avengers
movies.
slowly.
Which is just fine, because they could do it next year, and it would be shite. And you know it. There's no way around it. Now, here's something you're going to dig.
What do you got?
And I could not give a flying fuck less about, because the whole Bayday thing is not my bag. I'll give you a hint. Hua, hua.
Hua, hua.
If anybody listens to Eddie Izzard, the stand-up comedian, you know what I'm saying. Dogs in English comics go woof woof.
Oh, of course, Tintin.
Yes, The Adventures of Tintin, Secret of the Unicorn. What do you think the secret is there, Rep?
I think based on Tintin's haircut, his manner of speaking, the way he dresses, and the use of the word unicorn, that everyone is gay.
Oh, they are French.
No, Tintin...
magic unicorn shots from his horn.
Filth. No, Tintin is a fun read. I don't know how to translate to the screen.
Well, it's Spielberg in 3D motion capture. Jamie Bell, whoever the flying fuck that is, will be Tintin. But there may be a saving grace here. Simon Pegg is going to be in it.
As?
One of a pair of detectives with Nick Frost. And I don't know who Nick Frost is.
Yes, you do.
I'm sure I do, but refresh my memory, because
Well,
I'm
take
dumb.
all the Simon Pegg movies.
Oh, okay, very good.
There you go.
Yep.
And suddenly you agree with your "I'm dumb" statement, don't you?
Yeah, I said I was dumb.
No, here's the thing. For anybody who's really excited that Tintin is a guaranteed success, I have two words for you.
Yeah.
Take your great director, take your slightly popular, slightly weird concept, and speed racer it.
Oh, yes, that was a horrifying flick. I was so worried about it, I bootlegged it and I didn't even finish it. That's how bad it was. I couldn't deal. But that is December 2010.
Oy vey.
So it's well far along at this point. Now, here's something that I just heard about on another podcast just a few days ago. And while I think that it might get somewhere and it could be interesting, I think it's a little too gimmick. But, we'll see. We'll give it a go. Surrogates. At some point in the future, they have found a way to... Well, to boil it down, they found a way to put the Matrix into the real world. You hang around at home,
Right.
and you send out a robot into the universe, the world, out in the town, and you get direct feedback from what he's experiencing at the moment. So, if he hits the curb and stubs his toe, you feel a stubbed toe. If it's the Matrix, but you're awake when you're doing it.
Yeah, that seems kind of weird. This is a comic?
This is a Robert Venditti book. It's the premise, but it's an adaptation of the Robert Venditti book. Now, I don't know if by book they mean comic book, but it's obviously highly genre.
Yeah.
So, Bruce Willis is going to be in it. Or is he going to be in it? It doesn't say. That's the premise for this Bruce Willis adaptation.
I would assume he'll be in it.
Yeah, almost certainly. Oh yes, he is in it because he's eventually forced to leave his little house to figure out who done it, and that's September this year.
Ah.
And they're not. I haven't seen anything before, today about it, except I heard about the book last week, but. I don't know. You'd think in mid-July they'd be pushing something only 6-7 weeks away.
That's kind of weird.
And something we can both agree on, and if it wasn't for the opening night debacle of Iron Man that scared me off of opening nights forever and a day, Kick-Ass!
Really?
Yeah, baby. Kick-Ass is coming out. It's being filmed because they had a production still, which you can't really tell from the printout, but it is an actual picture. It's not. From the photo, it looks like a screenshot from a game, but it's not. It's a real photo. Where was it? The thing I'm worried about is Nick Cage is in the cast somewhere,
Nice.
so we can expect, some degree of woodenness.
Well, he has done
of the
genre
characters.
before.
Yes, he has. And where has that gotten us?
I don't know. I wouldn't.
Fucking Ghost Rider. What's that? You didn't or you wouldn't?
Well, based on my agreement that when you pick them up, I will watch them and review them for the cast, I will eventually have to see it.
No, you prodded me into that. I didn't want to pick up all the horrifyingly bad comic movies and run through them. You thought that up. You said we should do it, and I was too drunk to disagree vehemently enough.
And yet, you haven't started buying them yet. Where is your
You're goddamn
Catwoman?
right I haven't started buying them yet.
Why don't you
They're
own
not in
Catwoman?
the dollar for 10 bin yet. When I start seeing them at Walmart, when they're knocking them out for $1.50 a pop, then I'll start getting them. Don't you tisk me, motherfucker. What'd I just say?
I don't listen.
No tisking.
Alright, so Kick-Ass. Now, the funny thing about this, of course, is that the movie will probably be out before the next book.
That's a very good point. Because they've only made it up to 6, and it's been 18 fucking months. Even quarterly, that's not right.
No. Giant action-size Kick-Ass.
They don't bother giving us a year for that, but it's got to be along somewhere because
if there's a picture.
Yeah, because it is production still.
All right.
Now this is one we're gonna pick up soon, so I don't know shit about it. But 5 Eisners are very difficult to beat with The Goon.
I've read The Goon.
You've read The Goon. What'd you think of The Goon?
There's a Hellboy Goon crossover. So I
So it wasn't truly The Goon, but it
No.
was you had The Goon
It was the
in it.
bastardation.
Now, the Goon character himself, What's he all about?
He's a big, strong goon.
Ah.
Yeah, this is the kind of book that you hate on general principles.
Really?
Yeah, there's
Is it not funny?
It's funny in a like, here's a giant strong guy.
Yeah.
There's his little midget carny friend. They have weird encounters and
All right,
fight
the midget
things.
carny friend I'm having a hard time with, but if you remember properly, I was a big fan of Strong Guy from X Factor.
True, but that was a different style. Like the goon is not that bright and doesn't speak.
Oh.
Well, at least I'm only basing this on one not entirely clear issue.
All right.
But my understanding is it's like 30s style. Think of Mice and Men.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Or if you prefer Midnight Cowboy, if that's closer to your taste.
All right. Now, the thing is, get this. It was written by Powell, Eric Powell, the guy who thought up the goods. It's his character. Directed by Fincher.
Vin Diesel is a goon.
You know what? They don't bother saying who's playing him, so it would not surprise me, man. He would take a twacked out role like that. I mean, look at Riddick. It was roughly his breakout to do Pitch Black. I don't remember him in it. Hi, how are you? I don't remember him in anything before Pitch Black.
You mean like Fast and the Furious, the most popular film?
That was not before Pitch Black.
That was before Pitch Black.
No, it wasn't. Pitch Black was like 99, 98. Fast and the Furious wasn't until like 2003.
I
2 at the earliest.
think I disagree with this, but I will
Well, one day we'll look it up, but right now we'll say I'm right. So that's next year.
Moving on.
This could be phenomenal, and it could be horrifying. It's so difficult to say, because this is one of those things that when you see the original, you are either totally down with and can follow it forever, or you can be like, fuck that movie. Ghost in the Shell is going live action.
Having never seen the anime, I have no comment.
You could deal with it, I think. Knowing you, I don't think you'd be a huge fan and run out and grab all the mangas right after that. But
probably not.
I think you'd probably enjoy one viewing of it. It's surreal enough for you, and it's actiony enough for you, but it's also long enough for an anime where you forget the point a lot of times. So, but I mean, you pay attention far more in a movie than I do, so I think you'll do all right with it. So there's nothing really besides story there. I mean, it's another. Spielberg's got his hands in this one too.
Yeah, he's all about the sci-fi.
Well, what makes him the most money? Monsters, Jews, and aliens.
Wow, that's a weird book title.
That could be his biography, man. I got that from The Onion, just to be fair and give credit where it's due. Secret to Spielberg's success: Jews, monsters, aliens.
Good Lord.
My only saving grace is that I didn't think it up.
Alright.
Now, this one, I don't know. I have no fucking clue what this one's all about. But it's got Michael Cera in it, so you might dig it. I have no idea if that's true. I just said it to say it.
Good. Keep moving.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Yeah, I've heard about it quickly here and there, but I got no idea what that's all about.
I guess Scott Pilgrim is a independent comic book that I've not read, about a young boy who, in order to date a girl, ends up in these huge, like, boss battles. And each comic and each fight is based on different games and different styles.
All right. It could be interesting. Now, here's the thing. And we're probably gonna hit each other up on this. GL gets his flick finally.
Green Lantern.
Yes. And did I tell you who finally got cast?
You did.
And what did you think of that?
Mr. Deadpool himself.
Yeah, Mr. Why was that character even in the shitty Wolverine movie?
I haven't seen the shitty Wolverine movie, so I have no comment.
Dude, it's fucking shitty.
But we do have, Van Wilder is taking the Green Lantern into the 20th century, or 21st, or whatever century we're in.
This could be one of those Keaton-type moments where no one wants to believe it, and it turns out phenomenal. Or I could be fucking right.
Well,
Which would break an unbroken string of the last 37 years.
I'll give you that. I mean,
being totally
hating
incorrect
it
on
almost
every
guarantees
count.
that he's perfectly cast. My only question is, in the Green Lantern
Hal Jordan
movie,
would not put pubes on somebody's steak.
yes, but Batman wouldn't fight dragons in England. So Christian Bale, you can't take previous.
Oh, that's right. That's right. What was that fucking thing? Reign of Fire. That's right. It was doing fine until the Americans showed up. I was down with that movie till the fucking Americans showed up.
I was down that movie until somebody dodged fire by hiding under a tank. They got melted and they lived.
Yeah, that was after the Americans showed up because they brought the tanks.
But no, I think that he can carry a film.
Yeah.
He's got the personality. He's in good enough shape to kick your ass.
Who the fuck ain't? I sit down and fix computers over the phone all day. I don't even get to walk to other people's desks to do it. I mean, I'm 30 fucking meals away from
Jabba the Tech Jedi. No, Ryan Reynolds has all the possibility in the world of doing a great job. My major issue is, are they going to have Green Arrow?
That's a really good question, but of course it's it's going to be an origin story. It has to be.
Well, who knows? With the revamping they do in some of these origins, who's to say?
No, I read there will be Abin Sur. So I mean, they're not suddenly turning it into the Alan Scott Green Lantern.
So we can assume there'll be Sinestro.
Yeah, that's a good bet. But Justin Timberlake, he was really in the fucking running for that? Really?
Justin Timberlake is a incredibly funny guy based on his Saturday Night Live appearances, which means that he's at least a solid enough actor to be funny, which is considerably harder than punching something for pretend and going, fuck you, I've hit you, fall down.
Now, this is one I would much rather have seen as an HBO series, because 60 episodes, or even 35 or 40 episodes, would have done far more justice to the story than even a trilogy. Well, no, a trilogy might have gotten away with it.
What are you talking
Why The Last Man?
In a single movie? Well, I mean, if it depends if they tell a single story and open the possibility up to sequels.
Yeah, there's that. The shooting has yet to begin, and Shia LaBeouf turned it down. So, maybe they got an actor for it, maybe they don't. It's hard to tell.
He would have been good in that.
Yeah, probably. I can see him as York. That wouldn't have been bad. Now, here's the ones that are probably not going to be all that cool.
These are the ones that I'll watch on DVD according to this list?
Yeah, as long as somebody else pays for it.
Nah.
And I can guarantee that at least 2 of them are on your DVD list, as long as somebody else pays for them.
Yeah, what do you got?
Well, there's one that I only know because I heard it on yet another podcast, because that's all I do in the car. I don't believe in music anymore. Music pisses me off. Finding new music is just like, I don't care. I don't care.
Okay.
So, Black Hole, which would make you think of a Disney movie if you were old enough.
No, Black Hole is a weird, independent, semi-horror film.
Yes, it is.
I've read one of those.
Really?
Yes.
Well, damn. where teenagers get STDs that turn them into horrible mutations. Yeah. I can actually see that being a Heathers-esque kind of flick and getting a rather devoted but small following.
Only if you do it phenomenally well. The odds are it's going to be garbage.
Well, Neil Gaiman is supposed to be writing the script. So there's a chance.
Really?
Well, that's what it says here.
So you were a big Stardust the movie fan?
No, not really. I thought the book was, acceptable. I'm probably not going to read it again in the next 10 years, but I didn't feel it a waste.
And
the movie, I was just like, we're really only up to that part yet? Yeah, really? So, because Claire Danes ain't my girl.
Claire, well, let's not
She
forget.
really...
No, your girl was gay Robert De Niro in that film.
So was not, you cocksucker. Yeah, so that one, we'll wait. We'll see what's... and Fincher might head it as well.
So apparently
you're
Fincher's all about
guaranteed-
comic book movies now.
Well, I mean, look how much money they've been making. Red. Don't know this one, but apparently it's a Warren Ellis book. Do you know it?
Red?
Yeah.
Nope. As long as it's not Strange Kisses with lizards crawling out of parts that lizards should not come out of.
As long as it's not Ignition City with lizards with diarrhea. What is it with him and lizards and bodily things?
He's
I don't
British.
like it. Huh?
He's British.
They don't really have that many lizards in Britain.
Yeah, and that's why they write about them.
Oh, because they're fascinated.
Exactly.
That's fucked up. It says absolutely nothing about what this story is about. But, again, they're back to it. Word is that Bruce Willis is interested.
Bruce. You comic book fan. You.
Bruce! I am the piano man. That's Billy Joel's Sweetheart.
What the hell are you talking about?
That was a Billy and the Boinger strip.
Ah.
When the rebellious, greasy-haired kid was standing in front of the camera, so to speak, in the strip, and people were interviewing about why he liked the hardcore heavy metal music, and his parents were getting ready to go see Bruce Springsteen.
I do remember that.
Yes. Kids, I know there must be a few of you out there who were either born in the 80s and therefore were barely walking when Bloom County was done, or if you were walking, you probably weren't reading. So you need to get your ass on the internet and go find BurkeBreathed.com. It's spelled like breathed. Like I breathed yesterday, I'm going to breathe tomorrow. Burke Breathed.
With an E, not a U.
Yes. That is some phenomenally funny shit. Opus, Bill the Cat, Portnoy and Hodgepodge.
Steve Dallas.
Steve Dallas is my fucking hero, man.
Milo.
Milo is awesome. My second hero is Oliver Wendell Jones. I almost said Holmes right there. That was close.
Not a good sign.
I mean, he was the original, like, I'm a hacker, massively intelligent scientist type. Oliver Wendell Jones could make fucking Dexter's Lab look like a playset. He developed a long-tailed gerbil, for God's sake.
That's true.
That he needed a wheelbarrow to get the tail out of the...
Alright, next.
This one is you're not going to dig it because you don't dig the book right now. Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Megan Fox reportedly turned down the lead on several occasions. And the list of names associated with the Golden Lasso reads like a Maxim Hot 100 list. Unfortunately, Joss Whedon tried for 2 goddamn years to get some progress on this thing and couldn't get any kind of goddamn traction.
Really?
Yep. I mean, what does it take? He writes, Joss fucking Whedon. You know, who wouldn't have had faith in him the last 3-4 years?
Well, I mean, how many of his film projects have...
Well, Firefly was incredibly well received, even if it didn't make a lot of bank.
Yes, but see, they want a lot of bank, not a lot of well received. I don't know any way to break it down any better than that.
Well, there is that. And one of my personal don't really care about it, and if someone wants to drag me to it, I'll let them pay for it. G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra.
You're going for Sienna Miller with black hair and glasses and black leather.
Dude, I've already got her on my background on my computer at work, and she's like 8 inches tall. She covers the whole fucking screen, and it's a really good, clear shot of her walking toward the camera.
Oh my lord.
But the rest of the trailers and shit I've seen, I ain't happy with it.
You love Marlon
when
Wayans.
I want G.I. Joe, I don't mind big action. I don't mind this crazy, I'm a normal human, but I'm a good soldier, so I can jump over 12 cars of traffic in slow motion kind of shit. I want straight up military action adventure.
Yeah, but military action people get killed, and that can't happen in G.I. Joe.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Plus, you love Marlon Wayans.
Fuck you in your Irish ass. I've got nothing to do with no Marlon Wayans. What was it? I mean, is he the decent one?
I'm not going to tell you.
Which one was the one that played what's his fuck?
Oh, that clears up nothing.
Oh God. You know what? We might need to pause here.
With David Spade.
Yeah, like I know David Spade movies. Yeah, that's great.
I always thought you did.
I didn't got nothing to do with David Spade movies. So yeah, I'll download it the first weekend, and if I do like it, then I'll go pay for it. They'll get their money out of me if I like it, but they're not getting out of me before I know I like it.
That's why you don't...
It's a
you have
fine
such
fucking line. It's a fine line. You need a fucking microscope to see that line, but it's there.
That's why you've had such a weird success rate with hookers.
No. That's, the rate with hookers is pretty much set. You can't haggle that one. Oh, unless you know the words "gok gok Giselle."
And I don't.
Give me a discount, please.
Jesus, keep me by the water.
Alright, and the last one, although this is pissing me off. I don't know how they can produce a movie for a book that's had 2 fucking issues over the last 8 years. War Heroes. Which I gave you to read at one point, and I can't remember if you dug it or not.
What is War Heroes?
War Heroes is, it's roughly modern day, and real soldiers, not like mutants, not like irradiated science students, but real soldiers are given pills that give them superpowers for a few hours.
I remember vaguely reading that. It didn't go anywhere because it was only issue 1 or 2.
Yeah, I never saw a 3rd issue. I think I saw a 2nd issue on the rack once, maybe. But I mean, I thought it had a bit of a promise to it, and then we're still waiting on number 3. And it's Mark Millar. So, you know, between Kick-Ass and War Heroes, where's the rest of his stories? You know, is he too busy making movie deals? Huh?
He wrote Red Sun, which you loved.
That was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, just throwing it out there.
Well, no, I did dig it, and I do like the rest of his work. But I would like to see these things continued so I can get more of that work. Wouldn't that be nice? And that's that list right there. So, with that, I'm going to take a quick break, and we're going to find out precisely how much this year's big DC event is going to fuck up your wallet. Be right back. So anyway, Blackest Night, which is going to run all the way through fucking October.
Intriguing.
And then some. They're doing they're doing 3 separate titles this month. One a week, apparently. Now, the thing is, they got Prelude to Blackest Night, which is Green Lantern 39, 40, 41, and 42, including the Agent Orange arc.
Right.
They got Green Lantern Corps 33, 34, 35, 36, and 37, which has the Emerald Eclipse.
Right.
Now, that's 9 issues at $2.99 before tax.
$27.
Right. Now, we run over to the core titles. And they got Blackest Night 1 through 8 at $3.99 each.
$3.99.
Yes. They got Green Lantern 43 through 49.
All right, hold on. So that's 27 plus 32 is 59. And now, what's the new one? Green Lantern?
Green Lantern 43 through 49.
So that's 7.
At $2.99 each.
So that's another 21. So
Right.
that's 80.
And then there's Green Lantern Corps 38 through 43 at $2.99.
So that's 6. So that's another 18. So that's 98.
Right. So, in total, we got the Prelude being $26.91 cover. Prelude and the core titles jacks it way the fuck up to $97.70. Prelude, core titles, and satellite minis, which include Blackest Night Batman, Blackest Night Superman, and Blackest Night Black Man.
Blackest Night Black Man?
I have no fucking idea what it is. But
Black Man?
I needed something and I didn't have anything.
Really? I can't wait for the part where he uses his ring to avoid people beating him for looking at a white woman in 1937.
At any rate, there's one more after that. Superman, Batman, and something else.
Black Wonder Woman?
$145 for all this story.
Nice.
I'm not gonna get the Superman one unless somebody tells me that it's absolutely fucking mind-blowingly cool.
But you are going to get the Batman and the Black Man one.
No, just the Batman one.
You're totally going to buy the Black Man one.
No, not gonna do it. It's $145, motherfucker.
Blackest Night Black Man? Are you kidding?
I can get a happy ending for $145.
I'm glad that you know that. Those Sundays are getting more and more expensive.
Yes, well.
Hi, kids. It's the Reverend. Just remember, when the Tech Jedi says things like that, I'm telling you, he's going to hell.
And you should know you're a reverend. But then this article was too long to print out. I should have printed it out differently, because then they gave us all the article comments.
Right.
And we get things like, there's little doubt comics are not for poor people anymore. This can't be considered a burden to anyone, since the only ongoings it crosses into are GL and GLC. It would be quite interesting to see what results would be if Marvel and DC had a big crossover where the core mini was, say, $1 or $2. Why mention that? Never gonna fucking happen.
They did a 99-cent comic here or there. I mean...
Yeah, and then they had the 10-cent adventure as well, but obviously they lost money on the 10-cent adventure, so... But if you already get GL and GLC...
all you're doing is buying an 8-issue mini that's huge.
Yeah.
Which, let's face it, if you're a comic fan...
you're likely to be doing anyhow.
You know, you might not even have been reading the Prelude and pick up Blackest Night 1 through 8.
Right.
You know, some people will do that. You know,
But there is one reasonable point in here. If Blackest Night ends up as good as Sinestro Corps was, that's still money well spent.
If it's anything,
Probably
okay.
better spent as a trade.
Well, that's my point. Eventually I'm picking up both issues of the Sinestro Corps, and then if Blackest Night is anywhere on par with that,
Right.
I'm going to pick those up and trade.
All
All I ask is that Blackest Night 1 through 8 is more readable than Final Crisis.
That's what I'm so desperately hoping for. But we got an instant plus in the fact that it's being done by Johns and not Morrison.
But also, to be fair, you're also reading. We've been reading GL and GL Core throughout, whereas with
Right.
Final Crisis,
Now, I wanted to pick up GL because I was interested in where GL was going to go, where it had come from again, and how they managed to get Hal back in most of the DC Universe's good graces. So
Now,
I started with that.
the main thing for you though was the fact that you really enjoyed the Green Lantern Corps.
Oh,
War.
I fucking loved it.
Without those two graphics, you might have checked out Blackest Night when it started. You probably would have
Right.
bought the Preludes.
Right.
The fact that those were phenomenal reads for you brought you back into GL in a big way. Like, you
Yes.
were curious, but you probably would not have dropped the cash that you've dropped on all of the Preludes
Right.
if it weren't for the fact that you really enjoyed the Green Lantern Corps.
Absolutely. I enjoyed it so much, I mentioned it to Chris and described exactly what was going on with it, and she's like, well, I'm not a comics kid because I tend to pay too much attention to the art and have no idea what's going on the story. I've handed her books left and right, and she's like, I get so involved in looking at the art, I have no idea what's happening, why the art is actually there.
Good God.
Even Watchmen did that to her.
Really?
Yeah. But now we got one last thing, and we're not going to get too deep into it because this is a big article. So, Rev,
Yo.
what do you know about the history of Starro?
Starro, the giant starfish from space?
Yes.
It's a giant starfish from space that likes to mess with the JLA on a regular basis.
Yeah, realistically, how much more do you need? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you know, it is one of the few the JLA has always been plagued by a lack of concrete villains.
Right.
Like, either you have individual villains, or you've got one-shot super villains.
Right.
But you take out Despero and Starro.
And they got nothing consistent.
Yeah, I mean, what do you got? Queen Bee? Come on.
yeah, okay.
Prometheus?
Yeah. How old you figure Starro is, man?
Starro has got to be, let's see, we're in 2009. He's been around since, and I want to say the Gardner Fox days, so he's got to be nearing 60 years old.
Not quite 60.
But
Although the number itself is significant because it was 1960. Brave and the Bold, 28.
So he's 49 years old.
Yeah, so is the Justice League. So we can count on an incredible smattering of anniversary issues next year for JLA.
Now, what is your all-time favorite JLA?
Oof. You mean grouping or
Yeah.
particular story?
Either. What do you? What
You
is
know,
it?
I just got, and maybe it's simple nostalgia, maybe it's sentimentality, but I've never made a beef about having either of those concepts in my heart.
Yeah.
So, I still absolutely fucking love JLE, JLI.
Giffen and DeMatteis and
fucking
McGuire
love
and
those
Sears.
ones so much. You know, it was good, solid adventure.
It really was. It was good, solid comedy with light adventure.
Well, yeah, okay, I'll go with that.
I mean, I'm not trying to knock you, but if you really go back and think about them, almost nothing happens 90% of the time.
But it was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun, and you had everybody at some point or another, just like you do now, just like you did with Morrison's run. just like you did in the 70s and 60s.
Well, I mean, as you know, JLI is one of the few books that I kept.
Right.
But let's take that out of the equation. Where is your favorite JLA? Let's take Sirius into play. Where is your favorite JLA? I know you didn't overly enjoy Morrison and Porter's run when they revamped it.
Yeah.
But you did like Wade.
I loved Wade. I wasn't a big fan of New Maps of Hell from the last run.
No, you really didn't like that at all.
No. If you want that trade, actually, you can have it. Not that there's anything you'd trade for that trade. But and I was surprised because I was like, Ellis, but Ellis, motherfucker. And I read it, I'm like, I totally don't care about this story. So,
But was it better than the JLA declassified trade?
Yes. It was better than that. However, it was not as good as formerly known as the Justice League.
Getting back to Giffen, DeMatteis, and McGuire.
Or, I can't believe it's not the Justice League. I told you, I got it. It's in my heart, man. It's in my heart. So, Starro. He made appearances here and there, and the next huge important one, however, was all the way out in 81.
So he showed up in 1960,
Right.
but the next big appearance...
Well, he came back a couple of times, but no one is like, meh, it's Starro, eh. And then, JLA 189.90 in 81 was apparently, it was actually a two-parter. And he plops himself on top of the Empire State Building, which was kind of peculiar.
Well, he's a starfish, man. His thinking is probably substandard.
And he takes control of everybody, like he always does. But here's something you might dig about Starro's history. He was in the first issue of Captain Carrot and His Amazing Zoo Crew!
Oh my lord!
Yeah! Can you dig that?
I don't know how I feel about that. I did have, when I was a kid, not even in my collection, but when I was a kid, I did have one or two issues of Captain Carrot and the Amazing Zoo Crew. I haven't seen one of those in years.
Now, when he showed up there, he tried to devolve Earth 1, which at the time, being pre-crisis, was the primary Earth.
How sad is it?
I never fucking understood that, though.
Wouldn't it just be Earth?
Why? Well, I mean, they had Earth, Earth 1, Earth Prime. Why wouldn't the main one be Earth Prime?
Because it came up with it after they'd already done it.
Well, I mean, they're going to retcon every goddamn thing in the universe anyway. Why
Here's
not
my major issue. What kind of jackass is writing Captain Carrot and the Zoo Crew and trying to fit it into continuity? Like, really, I've got a pig that turns to iron and the world's fastest turtle and some sort of superpowered duck running around.
But they were on Earth C.
How can I fit this in so that if I need them to, New Universe can somehow be... Good God. Really?
Well, I mean, they were on Earth Carrot. What do you want?
Jackassian. That's Jackassian. I've never called anything that before, but that was Jackassian.
Now, he came back in the Morrison run in 22 and 23 from 98. Now, those first 2 years of JLA, I did dig. It was further along, I was no longer happy with it. And I have to reread them to remind myself why.
Now, do you remember anything about those first 2 years, though?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I have to reread them to
'Cause you
remind
had the
me
White
why I liked the
Martians.
first two and was unhappy with the rest.
You had Azrael, who you absolutely loathed.
Oh, yeah. Oh! And Zariel. The other fucking... The angel fucker.
Yes.
Ugh. That's why I hated it later on.
Those were all in the first few. Azrael was making an appearance by 7.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
See, this is why I gotta read them again. Let's see. And he was in jail, classified where it was actually a microscopic starovirus who was fucking things up. And then they also faced the Teen Titans. And then he went after Ivo in Justice League 6.
Ivo.
There ain't enough of Ivo.
I like the whole
Or there's too
Ivo
much
Tio
Ivo.
Morrow combination.
Oh, God.
When they made
You
Tomorrow
just got
Woman.
a lot of O's in there. That's what you like.
No, but I liked how they took one jackass scientist and a second jackass scientist and threw them together into some sort of uber jackass scientist team.
But there was one time which tied in the Final Crisis called Captain Carrot and the Final Arc with a K.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, 2007.
What, Captain? What?
Yes, 2007.
Oh dear Christ.
You wouldn't believe it, would you? Starro is flooding the former Earth Sea, which is now Earth 26, because of the events of 52. When, after the Infinite Crisis, the multiverse was split up again.
Yeah, I really enjoyed when they the whole point of Crisis was to not have gay shit like this.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it irritates me that a book like 52, as good as it was, for the.
By the way, kids, it's the Reverend here. When I say gay, it's because I was poorly informed as a small child. I don't mean that homosexuality is bad. I just mean that certain things are gay, and I have not learned a better term for that yet. Just wanted to share that with you. Don't use the word gay as a pejorative. I'm older. You should learn from me.
He really doesn't know any better, but you should learn from him.
There you go.
That's kind of your whole point, right?
That's the way I've lived my life.
But then something weird happened in Rebels, currently running, number 5 and 6, where the real Starro is a Frazetta-esque barbarian humanoid with a starfish attached to his chest. Said starfish apparently controls all the other versions of Starro, large and small.
Wow.
So, let's go back to the gay thing.
Let's just make Starro. Let's take a character, which is not a great. Let's be quite honest about it. It's an evil starfish that lands on your face and drives you around by your ears. This is not genius.
By your ears.
And let's make him not only has he been around since 1960, not only is he one of the premier top 5 JLA villains, sad as that may seem, although he is definitively behind Despero.
I always said Despero. I have no idea why.
Nah, because really, again, with your pronunciation guide theory, it doesn't really matter. And let's turn him into Conan the Starfish.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's appalling. It's not even Conan. It's probably like Ko the Starfish.
Actually, it's more like Death Dealer if you look at the picture. Yeah, that's what I said.
So he's an evil Starrier.
No. The Starriers are a Marvel property.
Good God, I was making that up.
No, they were one of the licensed properties from the mid '80s. Yeah, didn't think you'd get one of those references tonight, did you?
Holy crap! The
What?
chest parasite, vaguely reminiscent of the creature from Jerry Ordway and Al Gordon's Wild Star series. I was totally thinking of that. Random, thy name is Jerry Ordway.
You got anything else you want to... Because I don't, and I don't really care.
Are you enjoying your utter summer?
I am. I think we'll finish it off, watch a little more Star Wars, and call the night even, huh?
There you go.
Alright, well, kids, remember, go visit us on Facebook, MySpace, Comic Space, listen to us on iTunes, Podcast Alley, and of course, our own little wondrously boring site, www.themeangeek.com. Any final words, Rev? Not strictly words, but all right. Have a good night.